I got a really crazy story to tell you guys.
So look guys, I was just at school and I was going through the lost and found, and I found 4 quarters. So I went to the snack shack and got some food.
Sweet, 4 quarters. I'm gonna buy a snack. Wow, that's a really interesting story, Brandon. You should really tell it again.
So look guys,
Well, I think I have a better story than that.
So I was supposed to write the most boring story ever for English. Don't ask me why, because that's what my teacher said. So I didn't really know how to start it, but out of nowhere this idea popped into my head. The only bad thing was it was actually exciting, so it didn't really work out. Then my hand just started to write, and this story came out about a town called Boringville, and it was about me not having anything to do on a Saturday. It was like any other day, except today I had to walk to the store, and that was my story in a nutshell.
Wow, that was a pretty good story, but I think that mine is really gonna trump both of yours. So it started out like any other day. I was, like any other normal human being, eating my morning apple. I had already taken a few bites, and I was like, damn, this is good. As I was chewing my next bite, I felt something weird in my mouth, and I was like, what the hell is that? When I pulled it out of my mouth, I was at first confused and then intrigued by the tiny, tiny piece of paper in my hand. Curious as I was, I opened it up and read what looked like GPS coordinates. So, naturally, I punched it in my phone and went to go find where they were.
You found coordinates in your apple?
Well, yeah, is that really so unbelievable? I call BS. Hey, you know what? Just let me go. Let me finish my story, alright? Alright. Anyways, I drove straight to the location on my map. I drove and drove for hours and hours, not knowing when I would find what I was looking for, or if it would even be there. Finally, I arrived at the end of the road. I was still a few miles from the location on the map, so I geared up for a long hike. You wasted that much cash to drive there, not knowing if we're gonna find anything? I need to take a piss. Oh. Alright, fine. Anyway, I guess I still got you here to tell my story to, right?
I guess so.
At last, I found what I was looking for. I came upon an old, dirty hut that looked like it had been there for ages, and out of the front door came this dirty, gross-looking old hermitess. That's a female girl hermit, if you didn't know. And she says to me, "So, I guess you got my note, huh?" And I was like, yeah, how'd you even do that? And she said, magic, duh, which I had already suspected initially. Anyway, she said, "You aren't here for nothing. There's an enchanted gorge over yonder, and there's a huge treasure in it. It's guarded by ninjas, but if you think that you can get past them, it's all yours. Think you can handle it?" And I said, "Yeah, totally." So she put the location on my map, and I went off to go find it. I hiked for like an hour and a half probably. I don't know. It was a really long time. And finally I came upon the gorge. And I definitely knew it when I saw it, because it looked pretty enchanted. I decided to descend the treacherous cliffside to get down to the bottom, and when I got down, all I could think is how the hell I was going to get back up, because honestly, it was like crazy steep. I'd only taken a few steps, and honestly, I was like, okay, what's going on? Where's this ninja that this chick was talking about? And all of a sudden, jumps off a rock, this full black belt ninja. He was a tough-looking guy, young but rugged, you know? Kind of cute at the same time, I don't know. Anyway, he looked deep into my soul, and he said, "I know what you seek, but you must first defeat me to unveil its location." So I said, okay, bring it on, homeboy. And we fought it out until I essentially beat him over the head with a rock. With his dying breath, he said,
You gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
gave me a riddle that went something like this. Upon the rock it sits. But that was all I heard, because honestly, I was good enough to find the treasure by myself. I didn't even need his riddle. About 20 yards away, sitting on top of a rock, was a box. I went straight over to it. It was a bit of a climb to get to it, just because it was, up high and I had to go up it, but being as athletic as I am, I got up no problem. I broke the lock open on it with my bare hands, because it was a pretty old-looking lock, all rusted out and not really in good shape anymore, so I just snapped it straight off. When I opened it up, I was like, okay, where's this treasure? There was nothing in it but a piece of paper sitting at the bottom. I was like, oh geez, not more clues. I put my hand in and I opened it up and I read it. It said a bunch of stuff on it, but I mean, essentially what she was getting at, the hermit, I'm guessing, who wrote it, was basically sucker, and I was absolutely infuriated. I was so absolutely filled with rage after having been tricked. I mean, I wasted a whole day. So I ran straight back up that hill, even though it was about as steep as a spherical cylinder. And I went straight back up to where I had found the hermit. I swear, I ran back over that hour-and-a-half hike in like 20 minutes. But when I got back to where the hermit was, or had been, I guess I should say now, it looked like nobody had been there for years. So then, after that, I just kind of gave up. I mean, I was just so beat. I mean, like I said, I had spent a whole day looking for this thing, something that was never going to be there in the first place.
And I guess after that, I just came back over to here, and now I'm here with you guys. Wait, where's Brandon at? He went to go take a leak like 30 minutes ago, for real. I wonder if he's okay.
So yeah, man, I pulled the funniest prank on my friends last night. Then I had to go take a piss.